So, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining our space today. My name is Lana. I'm the communications manager at Across Protocol, and I will be moderating today's space. Today we are chatting with Across's data scientist, Chase Coleman, as well as Polygon's DeFi and community and marketing manager, Justin Havens. So, hello, you two.
Good morning, GM.
Hello, hello, GM. That's right.
Good morning. Good morning. So today, our focus will be on our integration with Polygon and what that means for Across and Polygon users alike. We'll talk a little bit about Across V2, as well as some exciting things that you can do on Polygon. So just as a reminder, if you are joining this space, if you could click that blue button on the bottom right of your screen, that will share this tweet out for the spaces. We also have a tweet on our actual page that I will link above that you can retweet as well. So we can just spread the word that this space is going on. So that would be much appreciated. So if you are just stumbling onto our space and don't really have the full picture of what Across Protocol and or Polygon are, we will give you a quick little introduction. So what is Across? Across is a cross-chain bridge that currently supports bridging back and forth between L2s and mainnet, with Polygon being our newest supported chain. Woo! So Across prides itself on its security, exceptionally low fees, and near instantaneous transfers. Across just launched V2, which features higher capital efficiency, L2 to L2 transfers, and our lovely new added chain Polygon. Across makes no sacrifice to security or a low fee commitment with Across V2. We still pride ourselves on being inexpensive, secure, and fast. So that's our summary of Across, but then moving on to Polygon. Polygon believes in Web3 for all. Polygon is a decentralized Ethereum scaling platform that enables developers to build scalable, user-friendly dApps with low transaction fees without ever sacrificing on security. So I did just want to pause because that was a bit of a long introduction and see if I missed anything or anything wanted to be added about Across or Polygon, or if that was a pretty solid introduction.
Lana, I think you did a great job, and I don't want to elaborate now to steal your thunder on some great questions you probably have later.
Well, that is much appreciated. Thanks. So we are going to just move on now to our question section, where we're just going to start talking more about Across V2, things you can do on Polygon, and more. So let's talk about how Polygon and Across work well together. Chase, why have we chosen to add Polygon to Across's bridge?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about, chains that are doing really great work, like there's several names that come to mind, but Polygon is definitely among those. I think they were one of the early scaling solutions proposed for the, Ethereum community, and they were doing a great job then. They're doing a great job now. I mean, there's lots of DeFi that already exists on Polygon. I'm guessing that, you know, Justin can tell us a little bit more about what things are there. But I think a lot of our users requested Polygon because there's a lot of things happening there, and they wanted to move their money there even more quickly.
Amazing. Yes, we are super excited to have added Polygon to Across's bridge. And now that it is added with Across V2, Chase, I gave a little bit of a summary before and mentioned that V2 has higher capital efficiency, but can you explain exactly what that means for our listeners?
Yeah, so you want to first think about, like, we can talk about why you get more capital efficiency, but a natural question you would ask is, why do our users care that we're capital efficient? You know, and the reason is that the more capital efficient Across is, the cheaper the fees are going to be for our users. So if you suppose, you need to pay LPs, liquidity providers, or relayers some fixed percentage, the more efficient you are with your capital, kind of the easier, like the lower fees you can charge while still maintaining that same APY for kind of the liquidity providers or for the relayers. So that's why our users should care about the fact that we're capital efficient. Now, what do we do to be really capital efficient? Across, because of our design, only has a single liquidity pool, and that pool lives on Ethereum mainnet. So that's really exciting because that means, you're like protected by the full security of Ethereum, and that's always something you want. And it also means that we don't have pools on every chain, which, means that we only have this one pool, which is really efficient. And the way that it works is relayers, they basically act as like a lender. So, a user shows up and they want to move from, Arbitrum to Polygon. Now, typically to do that, that would take you 7 days. If you're using a slow braid, so that would take you 7 days to go from Arbitrum to mainnet, and then, I think 20 minutes to go from mainnet to Polygon, something like that. So, 7 days and 20 minutes. Now, Across is going to allow you to do that instantaneously because our relayers, they live on both Arbitrum and Polygon, and they're going to say, hey, look, Justin wants to move his money from Arbitrum to Polygon. So I'm going to give him that capital on Polygon, and in return, Across is going to repay me on the where I'd like to be repaid. And so we depend on kind of these relayers allocating their capital efficiently. And when you incentivize them to do so, they do a really good job with that. And then these relayers get to choose where they want to be repaid, and that repayment is done through this single pool that contains all of the capital. And kind of some of the added benefits of Across v2. So Across v1 only supported L2 to L1 transfers. Now Across v2 supports L2 to L1, L1 to L2, and L2 to L2. And what that means is because you have flows going in each direction, if I'm running a relayer and I do this relay for Justin, so he deposits money on Arbitrum, I give him money on Polygon, but now, maybe I want to be repaid on Arbitrum because that's where, or I want to be repaid on Polygon because that's where I, used my money. Well, if someone went the opposite direction to Justin, if someone went from Polygon to Arbitrum, there's now money sitting in Polygon that another relayer has put forward, and I can claim that now. And so you get this like netting effect, and that makes your relayers become really efficient, and it becomes more and more efficient the more volume you have.
Yeah, that was a fantastic in-depth explanation.
Yeah, sorry, you got a whole mouthful. I get really excited about this sometimes.
Well, that is great. Yeah, that was very, very in-depth. So I do want to kind of like take a step back as well. And just for the people who are listening, we've said with across V2, it's capital efficient. We've said how it's capitally efficient. But when they actually go on the website and they're looking to bridge, what can they expect as a difference? With capital efficiency, are there other things in the UI that are changing? Is it just stuff that they're going to be noticing under the hood?
Yeah, so the thing that kind of kicks ass about this is that this all happens like behind the scenes, right? So you get this really simple interface. You say, I want to move this token from this chain to this chain. And, you know, all of these really, I think, cool innovations from our team and like these pretty cool capital management algorithms that we've been working on, like this all sits behind the scenes. And, you just you reap all of the benefits. You get cheaper fees, our LPs get paid more, like just everybody is winning. But you don't know it.
Yeah, that's great. And so I'm also in a bit going to link on our spaces here, our article for V2, and that goes a bit more in depth on exactly what you can expect with across V2. And we talk a bit more about the concept of capital efficiency. So if you want to take an even deeper dive than Chase's deep dive, which was already a pretty deep dive, you can read that as well. And so moving on from that, I know that we're chatting mainly just about the specific improvements for Across V2, but Chase, for those who haven't used Across before, what is using our bridge like in general? What similarities are there from V1 that still merge into V2?
I mean, the similarities are, it feels the same to our users. And I think, you said this is like one of the things I really like about being on this team, because so Across was built by a team called Risk Labs, who's also, involved with UMA. But I really do think we have like some of the most like security conscious engineers out there. So they're just like they're really careful. Like they recognize this is a space where like if you make a mistake, there are serious consequences. And our engineering team, like hats off to them. They take this responsibility really seriously, and we kind of take audits seriously. So our security is, I think as good as anything. But then they also work really hard on innovative designs, which makes it so that we can be fast and cheap.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, you can expect that moving from V1 to V2, as well as our higher capital efficiency and all of the other lovely across V2 features that we will link above. It's actually linked above now for that article. So now we know all about how to get to Polygon with Across's bridge, but let's talk about Polygon itself now. We have the lovely Justin on from Polygon, so I will go to you. Part of your messaging is built by developers for developers. So could you give some insight as to what developers can expect when they actually decide to build on Polygon?
Yeah, sure. And Chase, thanks for all your explanations on everything about Across V2. I'm learning a lot. I love getting into the nitty gritty details. So, yeah, really appreciate that. But yeah, so Polygon, you're right, Lana. That's part of our messaging is built by developers for developers. And I would say that one of the key features that we offer to developers outside of just the EVM compatibility that we have is optionality. We are all aware of the Polygon proof of stake chain, aka the Polygon side chain, which is what pretty much everyone is utilizing right now. But Polygon actually offers a Swiss Army knife of scaling solutions for Ethereum. We've got 3 of those scaling solutions live right now. We have 1 in beta, and then 3 are in development. So that's 7 total. So, and if the Polygon proof of stake chain works with what you're building as a developer, then perfect. But like one of the main things that we're really excited about right now is our Polygon Supernets, and those are live right now, and that enables developers to run their own blockchain network with customizable features, and it's guided by the principles of modular architecture and provides Ethereum compatibility for your network. And with this, you can leverage the Polygon nodes that are in the validator nodes that are already on chain validating transactions. Because when you are starting your own blockchain, I think that can be one of the more difficult things is to bootstrap those validator nodes, right? There's a lot of cost that comes with that. So that's one of our things. So Polygon proof of stake, Polygon Supernets, and then the other one that's live right now is Polygon Hermes, which is a Snark-based ZK tech. That is live today, but we don't have that EVM compatibility right now. Right now, it's just for payment processing. But the EVM compatibility is coming soon, soon TM. And then another one that we're excited about is Polygon Nightfall. That's the one that's in beta right now. That's on beta mainnet. And that's a privacy-focused rollup that combines the zero knowledge tech and optimistic rollup tech, kind of in a hybrid. And that's a partnership that we have with EY, formerly Ernst & Young, which is one of the big 4 accounting firms. And then the other 3 that we have that are in development, that's Polygon Zero, which is Plonky 2 based ZK tech, Polygon Avail, which is a data availability blockchain play, and Polygon Maiden, which is a Stark based ZK technology play. And so, we're under the belief that there's not a one size fits all from a smart contract development or the security trade-offs that you make with the centralization dilemma. And all of these have different features and just like little nuances that developers can pick and choose when they are building their applications. So when we say built by developers for developers, this is one of the main things we're talking about, is that optionality for scaling their applications.
That's amazing. And so I was looking through the Polygon site, and it is, very information heavy. There's so many different routes that developers can go. And where would you say the best place for developers is to start who are interested in accessing all of this info? Should they go to the site? Should they hop in somewhere else to figure out exactly what would be a best fit for them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that, the first step would probably be to go to our website, polygon.technology. And there you can get a little just kind of general overview of all the solutions that we offer. And then you can also go to our blog, which is blog.polygon.technology, which can give you a little bit more in-depth information of some of the initiatives that we have and the scaling solutions that are available. And then Polygon TV on YouTube is another good one as well. And then, reach out to us. We've got a really, really sharp marketing and business development team, and we are ready to work with you on deploying your application on the Polygon network.
Great. And exactly where can people reach out to you who want to talk to the business development side, marketing side?
So I would just say, reach out to me is one thing that we can do, or just reach out to any. I believe that the inboxes are open on Twitter, and that can give you a pretty good direction. But I would say that we're pretty active in the space, and I think everyone who is a developer in this ecosystem knows somebody who works at Polygon, and it's just a matter of just reach out to us, because we are ready and we're eager to build during this bear market, because building in the bear market is so important to build the new foundation of applications that will drive the next bull market. And yeah, just reach out to us, and we're happy to get started with you.
Okay, perfect. And so then something that I had also been reading up on a little bit was, as you mentioned before, the Polygon Nightfall release that's now in beta. Could you explain that a little bit for our audience members? Oh, I think you're muted.
I absolutely was muted. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, so Polygon Nightfall, like I said previously, this is a partnership that Polygon has with EY, their blockchain division, and that EY has got such a sharp and smart group of blockchain developers and engineers on their team. So this is a hybrid, optimistic ZK rollup solution that enables efficient and decentralized business transactions with privacy. And this kind of opens up new possibilities for enterprises in Web3, because in our discussions with enterprises, Fortune 500 companies, governments, etc., they have very different preferences on what they are willing to sacrifice for scalability, and just what their preferences are for blockchain features in general. And so this collaboration with EY, right? They're one of the big four accounting firms. They have their ear to the ground on what these businesses are looking for. And with our ZK teams, we felt like this would be a great partnership to do that. And so this is designed, I think enterprises probably have a little bit more of privacy in mind, right? Because if they have quarterly statements that they have to do with the SEC, they probably don't want all this information on chain as they don't want the transparency that probably other DAOs or Web3 applications would want. And so it uses optimistic rollups to reduce the transaction fees and zero knowledge proofs for that privacy feature. So the optimistic rollups, those are deployed on the Ethereum layer one. Those proposers roll up transactions into blocks and then submit those to the optimistic contracts, right? And then challengers submit fraud proofs for any invalid block to the same contracts, and all the information required to perform a private transfer exists with clients and does not rely on any off-chain third party. So this is really kind of our enterprise play for scaling Ethereum as well.
That's fantastic. And so just as a reminder to our listeners, if that sounds like something that you're interested in diving deeper into, you can go to polygon.technology and they have a whole write-up all about Nightfall that you can check out now. And so moving from that a little bit, something else that seemed particularly interesting, and I think may be interesting for a lot of our listeners here on Twitter, is that Instagram is basically premiering NFTs, and Polygon is part of that. Can you explain that a little bit more, Justin?
Yeah, absolutely. This is something we're obviously very excited about. Instagram and Facebook, or Meta now, is obviously has a pretty big footprint in the Web2 space, and yeah, I mean, I can't go into like too much detail on how that will actually be utilized, but just for DA reasons, but I can say that Instagram and Facebook will be implementing NFT technology onto their platforms. And when they went through all the scaling solutions and blockchains at their disposal, they chose Polygon. And I think that means something. I think that speaks volume about Polygon as a technology and a scaling solution. And also, I think that's also a testament to our business development team, who is able to understand the needs and wants of these very large Web2 organizations and be able to deliver on what they want. So it's very exciting to see that, the creator economy being able to further, I guess, cut out the middleman and get a little bit more of what's theirs from a creative premium standpoint. And if they choose to do this on Instagram and Facebook, I think there will be a little thing that says "powered by Polygon" on it. So something we're very excited about. And there's a lot of other initiatives that we have with much larger Web2 companies as well coming in the pipeline that we're very excited about as well.
That's incredible to hear. So kind of as a bridge over now, we've talked about what developers can expect. We've talked about some new releases. And so for those who are users, what can they generally expect when they're on Polygon? So what are some key features in general that Polygon is proud to offer their users?
Yeah, that's a good question too. So, like I said, most users right now are using the Polygon proof of stake chain, and I think the UXUI is very similar, right? I think that so you can enjoy all of the apps and applications that you can enjoy on Ethereum mainnet on Polygon, but with a much lower transaction fee and a much quicker execution time with little sacrifice to security there. And I think another thing that users particularly like is that this is an Ethereum aligned solution as opposed to maybe other side chains, right? Because the validator node staking contracts for the Polygon proof of stake chain those staking contracts are on the Ethereum blockchain, right? And this proof of stake side chain checks back to the Ethereum blockchain from time to time. And to my knowledge, I don't think other side chains do that. And so we do have this like symbiotic relationship, right? The Polygon proof of stake chain cannot live without Ethereum because we have our staking contracts there and we're checking back. And then Ethereum needs scaling solutions like Polygon to thrive as well. So I think when it really comes down to it, it's, and there are a lot more applications from a DeFi standpoint who are starting to deploy instances of their own DeFi protocols. From like the Avalanche community, we're getting some DeFi protocols deploying instances on Polygon there, and then from the Terra community as well. So it is a very thriving ecosystem right now. And when it comes down to it, you can use your MetaMask, you can use your Coinbase wallet. The UXUI is pretty seamless, and it's just basically just lower transaction fees for the retail environment.
Okay, great. And something that also looked particularly well, that was strange.
Yeah, that has happened to us a few times. I think it's just one of those days where Twitter's going to rug a bunch of spaces like this.
Oh, man. All right. Well, hopefully we'll be able to, finish this out. We don't have a ton more questions, but perhaps let's wait a few minutes to see if we can get some of the people from our old space in this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I was clicking around. I noticed your handle is Crypto Texan, Justin.
Yes, that's correct.
I'm I'm in Atlanta visiting my in-laws right now, but I'm typically based in Austin. So,
Oh, really? Are you coming to Consensus then?
um, well, we're in Atlanta right now, so I don't have a ticket, but we'll see.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I live in the Dallas area, so
Okay.
Fort Worth. Technically, you're from Austin, so you know the area.
Yes. I know the difference between Dallas and Fort Worth. Fort Worth.
Yeah. Usually, I just say the Dallas area, but Fort Worth is very different from Dallas.
Yep. Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. Always good to hear about more Texans being in the Web3 space.
Okay, we have shared a new link up there.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to get the ecosystem handle back on as co-host as well.
That would be great. To all of you who are joining, thank you for hopping into our new space. We are just going to give it a couple minutes to see if more people will join from our previous one, and stay tuned. To those of you joining, thank you. As you can see, this is a new link, so we are going to wait a couple of minutes to see if people from our previous space will join in, and then we will begin again.
Yeah, Lana, looks like we have ecosystem back in, so if you could promote them to co-host.
Yep, just sent the request before.
Perfect.
All right, now that you are co-host Polygon Ecosystem Updates, we are going to wait like 1 more minute and then we will begin.
Just while we're waiting, Justin, are there like Supernets that are live right now that you think are pretty cool?
I know that there are a couple that are live right now, but I haven't really had the time to dig into which ones those are. That's a really good question, and that's something I should probably look into now that I think about it. Um,
Yes, it seems cool. One of the things I like is y'all are like putting forward lots of different solutions, which I think allows people to like pick and choose like what's going to benefit them the most. Like use the technology that makes sense. And I'm just interested in kind of what apps are going to tend to different solutions.
yeah, I think like on the Supernet side, I tend to think that like the metaverse in gaming side might tend to lean towards the Supernets. That way, they have a little bit more control. I mean, because there it's like you're customizing the features for your own specific game, right? And when you're using a Supernet, like you do lose out on the composability of your application, but you know, I don't think that a lot of these metaverse games are necessarily concerned with the composability of their smart contracts on these games, right?
Right.
So I think that's kind of a big one. And then, yeah, but yeah, just like you said, it's like does like does an in-game transaction necessarily need the same security as like a $10 million dex trade? And I would say probably not. And so we're probably being a little bit wasteful if you have a microtransaction metaverse, exchange taking place on the same blockchain as a $10 million dex trade. And so I think that especially as this space continues to grow, like developers are going to want a little more of like built to suite scaling solution for their apps, and that's we're trying to hit it from all areas and kind of see, if one wins out completely, then great. We've hedged our bets there. But if everyone does want slightly different things for all of their apps, and all of these, flowers bloom, so to speak, then we're in a good position there as well.
Yeah, very cool.
Okay, I think we are going to begin now. We have a lot more people who I think joined from our previous space. So thank you for joining us again. It is much appreciated. We are actually getting near the end of our questions, so our space won't be a ton longer, but thank you for sticking with us. So, Justin, before we had cut out, we were talking about Polygon going carbon negative. Seemed really powerful, really interesting, and would love if you could explain that a little bit to our listeners.
Yeah, this is a very big and important theme that you see in the media, and in politics, related to the environmental impact of blockchains, and what are the solutions that we can put forward for that. And I think this is going to sound a little cheesy, but if you think about it, like the Earth that we live on right now, like this is a non-fungible token. Like the Earth is non-fungible, and it's a non-fungible token that we all share. And you know, we talked about all these scaling solutions and this innovation going on in the DeFi space and the scaling space and with cross-chain bridges. And when our children or grandchildren ask us, what were we doing during this crucial decade when the future of Earth hung in the balance? Like, will it be enough for us to say that we were building a complete suite of Ethereum scaling solutions and cross-chain bridges? And I mean, just will all of this ambition and hard work that we've been doing seem meaningful from the vantage point of the future generations to come? And so that is the kind of the perspective that we're putting on this is, so Polygon, yes, like you said, we're eliminating all of the network's carbon debt going back from inception and then going carbon negative by the end of this year. And so, yeah, that means every transaction, like an NFT minted by an artist, a DeFi trade, a token bridged, all of that is accounted for and its environmental impact will be offset. And once that goal is achieved, Polygon will become the first blockchain to become climate positive, which is a very big and important narrative for large enterprises that are looking to get into the crypto space as well. So, yeah, I mean, Polygon's suite of scaling solutions for Ethereum and investment in all this cutting edge ZK tech, this we feel like has already put Polygon at the forefront of onboarding the next billion users to Web3. And this commitment to sustainability is an acknowledgement of the important role that we play in the ecosystem. And we want to lead by example here. And so to get a little bit more specific on this, because this is just like broad overview, what we want to do. So we're offsetting carbon footprints for Polygon by buying extra credits to become carbon negative. We are putting in place some community initiatives, such as encouraging the Polygon ecosystem partners to make similar pledges. And then we are also providing resources for our ecosystem partners who want to offset their carbon footprint. And then we're also making donations to NGOs that fight climate change. And, whether you're climate change denier or not, when it comes down to it, this is a very important theme for institutions and politicians. And then if you're on the side that, that climate change needs to happen right now, we would agree with you because I think the fight for our planet starts today. And that's Polygon's stance there. And that's basically our plan to become the first carbon negative, climate positive blockchain.
That's incredible. And what kind of reception have you gotten so far on this? Like, as you said, you will be the first to do this, and it's really groundbreaking.
Yeah, and I think it's been overwhelmingly positive. I mean, we're not really making any sacrifices as far as the performance of our network on doing this. Like I said, there are a lot of Web2 organizations who, like Metaverse Instagram. Obviously, this is a positive for them if they're going to build on a blockchain that is, there was like this weird meme during the bull run that NFTs are boiling the ocean or whatever. So, if they want to integrate NFTs into their platform, they want to integrate NFTs on a blockchain that is climate positive, right? Same thing with the partnership we have with DraftKings, EY, Stripe for payments. Circle just started implementing native USDC, and who else? Like, I'm just trying to think of all the corporate sponsorships that or partnerships that we have recently. Adidas and Prada, and a couple other big ones that I can't say right now, but it will definitely be making waves. I don't know. Would we have had as much success without this initiative? Possibly. But does this initiative hurt? I mean, absolutely not.
Yeah, that is incredible that you're being so environmentally conscious while you're scaling. So that is incredible. So for those who are interested, both hearing about everything from both a user perspective and a developer perspective, for someone who's like, wow, I really want to get involved with Polygon, how can they?
That's a really good question too. Step one, I guess, join the Discord. No one in our Discord will DM you directly. Keep that in mind. But ask questions to our team members there, and they'll be happy to help you get started from a user perspective. Well, from a developer perspective too. That's great. We also have some incubation programs that we have with DeFi.org and Orbs protocol, and we have so many teams also building on Polygon that need developers, and we have a slew of, I guess, MediaCom handles, and if you go to polygon.technology/community, you can find a lot of resources from our blog, our website, our YouTube channel, our Discord, our official Telegram. But I would say the Discord is probably a great spot to get started for both users and developers.
Okay, great. And before we open up for questions, is there anything that I missed, either on the Across side or the Polygon side, that I have not mentioned? This is both question for Chase and Justin.
I think the only thing that I will add is that Polygon is hiring. So check out our careers page as well.
Yeah, I'll add the same thing. Across and kind of generally the Risk Labs team is always looking for people. We I mean, you want to be on teams that are building during the bear market, right? And I think both of these teams meet that definition.
Okay, we are going to open up for questions a bit. So if you do have a question, just request to come up and I will approve you. We'll give it a few seconds, see if anyone requests. It seems that you may have left them all speechless. I do not see any requests of anyone coming up. If you do want to request, you're still welcome to, but since no one is, I am going to start wrapping up the space a bit. So thank you all so much for joining our space today. I hope you're feeling excited and informed about this new integration to Across. I know all of us are. So now that you're ready to get involved, here is how you can. Make sure to use Across when bridging to Polygon. Check out all of the exciting things built on Polygon at polygon.technology. You can join both Polygon and Across's Discords. Check out both of our doc sites to learn more and follow us both on Twitter. So I think that might be all. Is there any other CTAs that either of you would like to plug before we end?
No, I would just say follow our Twitter account, 0xPolygon, and we also have the Polygon ecosystem handle here. Go ahead and give them a follow as well.
Okay, amazing. I think we are going to wrap up. Thank you both so much for coming on and speaking, and I hope both you and all of our listeners have a very nice day.
All right, yeah, thank you for having me. This has been great.
Yeah, bye everyone. Nice chatting with you, Justin.
Yeah, you too. Let's keep in touch.
Definitely. Bye everyone.
Bye everyone.